My name is Felix. I'm the creative director for Team Bon Appetit. We're a Game 250 team looking to hire some new members for this semester. Right now, we have 2 designers, including myself, and 4 programmers. Excuse me. We have 1 artist who's interested in working with us, while I'm in, but we need to find at least 2 more artists that are interested in order to hire a full team. And we would also like to hire a BAMSD or have them volunteer to create a soundtrack for our game. So this video is basically just going to go over our in-engine build so you can see what's going on with the project. Also a little bit of behind-the-scenes stuff with our love letters so you know what the workflow looks like. And then I'll go over more detailed information for artists and musicians if you're interested in doing either of those. So I'm gonna close down my video capture and hop into the game. So it's a stealth platformer called Sintra. I can move my character with A and D. I can jump with W and clearly move this cursor with my mouse. I can alternatively jump with the spacebar. Hop over here. And our game's core mechanic is I can hold left mouse button to charge up an arrow. They're omnidirectional. They have gravity, so eventually that thing will fall back down. But they can be used to create jump through platforms in order to traverse the environment. So offers some interesting kind of like problem solving things where I can go up here, or if I wanted to, I could give myself a boost here and take a little bit of a shortcut. There's not a whole lot else from that level to show. I'm just going to skip through to one that's important. Yes. Okay. This is our only enemy type. It's this undead skeleton. I have the game audio turned down so I'm not competing with it, but I'll turn it up for a minute. Basically, I can't kill him. Again, they're undead. They have some sort of magic that prevents them from being killed in a normal way. The mechanical reason is killing them with arrows is super easy, so we went with a more interesting melee combat system instead, basically. But I can lure this guy over here and sneak past him. If he ended up seeing me, he's gonna get angry and charge towards me, and I'm just able to outrun him. You also have probably been able to hear the game's music at this point. It's a Latin track from the DigiPen sound library. It's sufficient for what it is right now, but we obviously would like to have some original music composed for it. I think this is kind of a good jumping point, but something more kind of brooding, intense might work really well because of these kind of skeleton enemies making the game a little bit more spooky. So I'm going to pop on through here, and this is kind of a pivotal point in our game. You get to this museum, and scale this wall. I'm going to jump down into this hatch, and there would be a pedestal with a knife on it. So I walk past it, I've picked up the knife, I'm going to go into the next level. You can see if I use my right mouse button, I'm going to backstab this guy. So this collider comes out for a second. It should have the knife graphic, but it doesn't right now. We do have a sprite for it. Right now it's omnidirectional. It'll go wherever the mouse is, but later on we're going to have it snapped north, south, east, west. You can like, jump and knife downwards for some cool, drop assassinations and stuff like that. Also has this cooldown as well. Like I said before, you can drop assassinate people, but right now the knife spawns at the same point regardless of where you swing it, so it doesn't work super well for that. So kind of getting in close and doing a backstab works better. I think I forgot to turn the game volume down, so I'm going to do that now. Pop back over here. I'm going to restart this real quick to show basically another core pillar we have here is that every level can be completed non-violently if the player so chooses. So I can, if I want to, I can go through and watch. Oh my gosh, I haven't played this in a while either, so there's my defense for being so garbage at it. I can wipe out all of the enemies if I want, or some of them, or I can go through completely non-violently. And they can also, I don't know if you might have seen this earlier, but they can jump up here, and I'm kind of blocked through getting out here. Normally, they should be able to get into this space, but I kind of messed up on this level design, I think. But I can wait for them, they have an audio awareness range, and then get past like that. I'm going to pop open our level. Well, this is our debug mode. You can see what I'm colliding with and enemies and stuff. I'm going to pop open our editor so you can see that. Right now I'm in 4K, so you can't see everything on the screen. There's just a little bar up in the top left where I can edit some variables like player movement speed, jump, how fast arrows travel, how long my knife is out, stuff like that. We have all of our levels here, and I can select any object, change its transform, rotation, and stuff. I think I can do this. We've got this transform here, so I can rotate this thing if I wanted to, and do whatever. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and close out of that. Kind of the idea for, well, I will close out of debug. The idea for our level design workflow is that we kind of block things out like this, and then later on we would just make these blocks invisible and then have artwork underneath it that lines up. And we're not using like a tiled system or anything like that. It's just everything's placed pixel by pixel. So we would need to have some sort of kind of modular parts, different buildings, props like lampposts and stuff that either designers or artists can go into a level and, you know, place them to match up with the collisions of everything in the level. So this area features some deadly thorn bushes that aren't very thorny right now and also aren't very deadly. But normally stepping on this would kill you. So this introduces kind of an overgrown area with some environmental hazards in addition to enemies. That's about all I have for this. I'm gonna pop over to something else. Basically this PowerPoint that I made to just kind of explain the game's art super fast. These are character inspirations. You know, this thief character that's trying to steal this knife, gonna sell it for profit later, and then these skeletons, the only thing that can kill them is the knife, so they are obviously highly invested in making sure it doesn't get into the wrong hands. That's why they're like chasing you down. This is some character rework that our artist Hwamin did for us, or interested artist, I should say. That's super cool. This like little scene of him, you know, picking up the knife off the pedestal. It's really nice. And then this is some environment inspiration that we have. This is the Italian coast, the Cinque Terre. This little area, specifically Manarola, is super scenic, and I think the very like vibrant rooftops to scale and stuff would be really nice, especially at night. We think it would be really cool to have the game set at night. It adds to the moody, dark, intense atmosphere a little bit better. And we also pulled a lot of inspiration from Dishonored 2. Actually has a lot of the same real world inspiration from Italy and the Mediterranean. These overgrown areas, like I mentioned earlier, I think it'd be really cool to have more environmental hazards that kind of line up with this aesthetic. Is really neat. And then this sort of, you know, another show of the architecture going on here that's really neat. This is a concept that Hwamin did for us. You can see kind of blocked out where the collidable things would be, and some reworked enemies that could be really cool. I really like this color palette as well. I think it, you know, matches the nighttime vibe very well. But he also created a more, as he put it, avant-garde environment that uses a much like higher contrast color scheme and stuff like that. That looks super cool. Let's swap back over to this one and wrap up with talking about music real quick. So before we had that sort of Latin track going on, I think that having something jazzy, more moody and dark would be really good. The pieces that I would recommend if you want to listen to what I've kind of been inspired by for what I think would really work well for this game's music. Sintra by Snarky Puppy of the same name. Guess where the inspiration came from, right? That's a really good sort of orchestral, like very big sounding, but also kind of jazzy piece that I think fits the aesthetic of the game really well. And also Relics from Into the Breach. That soundtrack is just full of music that is kind of like controlled, but it's also very intense. So I think it matches this like trying to strategize and figure out how you're going to get around enemies, or if you're going to attack them directly, while still being kind of this under the wraps of night kind of gameplay really well. If I didn't mention before, if you're interested in reaching out to us, showing us some of your work, we'd love to see it. You can contact me at felix.knight@digipen.edu, or you can contact our producer, Victor Soto. His is victor.soto@digipen.edu. We're also both on the Game 200/250 Discord. So if you DM us through Discord, we'll probably be very likely to see that and respond to it quickly. So super excited to hear from you if you're interested in working with us. Thank you.